Hi everybody and big welcome to cEDH TV gameplay. As usual, me Pontus, this time joined by Snuske.
Hello.
And Emil.
Hello. Okay, I'm gonna try Urza, Mono Blue Urza again. Last time didn't work out, and I blame turn order for that. I'm trying to break the meta here, the Urza meta, with my Storm list, which I came in a good position last tournament here in Stockholm. I'm gonna try to run that again. So it's very stormy. If you haven't run it, you're gonna have your judge chasing you because it's a very complicated deck when it comes to triggers.
Today, I'm trying out Teval, Arbiter Virtue. I don't know if this deck is good, I'm not gonna lie, but cheating a mana sounds good. But losing life when I recast cards might be an upside with Willis, but outside of that, it's pretty harsh. I wanted to go like Stormy, which is scary when you lose life, so I don't think Adnos works, but I tried Period Abyss, because like if you can cheat it on mana, just exile 4 cards from graveyard and use triple black, sounds pretty good.
So I actually asked Pontus to build me this deck because we had a game where someone put Selvala into play, and then the turn came to Pontus, who put Dargo into play and started to sacrifice Dargo over and over. So I asked Pontus, I wanna do that, because that looked really fun. So this is a Dargo Selvala, or well, to be more correct, Dargo Thrasios gaining access to green, so we can have Dargo Selvala. So the basic trick is to get Selvala into play, cast Dargo for 1 red mana and draw a card, sacrifice Dargo and just keep the ball rolling.
I was just looking through recent tournament lists and found a list from Shauna. I was like, this is probably just hidden if miss it. And it is. So it's polymorph, but we don't win instantly when we polymorph. We also need something else. So it runs a Shauna amount of instants, which is very controlling. So I'm probably just going to be sitting back with blue mana open, hope that I eventually get my commanders into play so I can do the thing. Let's see if it works. This has no mana, so we'll try again. This also has no mana. This is a good start. I like this start. Well, we found mana and a fish and some type of removal. Doesn't have counter magic, but it has mana. We can fish on turn 1. Doesn't really get Malcolm out that early, does it? Question is, what are we bottoming? We're probably just bottoming a snap. I don't think that it's cool with the ancient tomb, but I don't think that's gonna help us that much with it being colorless mana. We'll let us play Malcolm and Kediss on. We'll just bottom it. Go from there.
This hand is lacking speed, is the good word for it. We have good cards, like we have Rhetoric Study and we have Kinnan, but there's a chance we're gonna be stuck, and I want something more explosive. The hand has good cards, but it's too slow, we're gonna mulligan. We do have a lot of mana. We have 2 lands, Soul Ring, Fellower Stone, and Mana Vault. We're gonna have a lot of Thrasios activation with this. Arid Misa has to find Volcanic Island. This is a turn to Thrasios. We can sacrifice the Mana Vault to get the Dargo into play later in the game. It feels like an unfun hand. But with the amount of mana this hand has, the top decks should be pretty good. Like almost whatever good card we draw into. And we do have Thrasios activations here. We are relying a little bit heavy on the Thrasios activation, I'm gonna be honest. But I'm actually gonna keep this hand. So let's go.
Here's our first 7. 4 lands, Soul Ring, and Talisman is great. The problem is that the rest of the hand doesn't really do anything. Our commander doesn't really do anything either. So the fact that we have a turn 2 commander might even be more bad than good, because we can't tell anything and we will just lose a bunch of life while trying to do stuff, which we barely can anyways. This hand is great if you just draw basically anything, like even the tutors, like really gas. I'm not going to gamble on that on the first 7, so let's mulligan. I'm kind of annoyed by how much mana represented, because this hand is also pretty good. Gems of Caverns pre-game, Bird with the Kinnan, that's a bunch of mana. But once again, we're here with mana and not really much to do with it. I'm almost tempted to keep hands like this because mana is really strong. Our commander really does nothing without more things going for it, so we really need to find these strong engines. We get rewarded by a no-lander, but we have Elvish Spirit Guide into Carpet of Flowers. And if we get carpets to make 2 green, we do actually have carpets for 2 green, Dark Ritz, Besiege the Mirror, but that's overall pretty cope. Like that's maybe a turn 2 Rhetoric with no other permanents in play for 4 cards. This hand is the closest, except for the YOLO carpet, to having a game plan, just because we have card draw at all. But we're still on a hope and a prayer to find any action with this. We're on the 5, so our options are way more limited, and sometimes we have to take the nasty pill and just eat it. We're still pretty much in the same scenario. Once again, our hand has no plan, no draw engines, no gas, nothing. I'm mulliganing this, but I'm probably keeping the 3 as long as it has any mana at all. Going to 3. Well, this is much better than most of our other hands, just because the Rhetoric here. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out if there's a world where we keep the Gemstone Caverns and Consult before our upkeep. But that never works out because we only have 3 cards in hand. If there's also 4, that's actually like a bit YOLO, but still. But as it stands, we keep Watergrave, Consult, and Rustic Study, and we Consult for a Sol Ring. We're not guaranteed a turn 2 Rustic, but I think this is the best chance we have. Let's just go for it. Honestly, I think Rustic Study is good enough to say that this is the best hand so far.
So this is what I drew. This is my first 7. 2 lands and a Mystic Remora. More importantly, a Meridian Besieged and Forensic Gadgeteer are 2 insane 3-drops that just generate more and more tokens, which are mana rocks for me. We'll see what happens. I really hope it's gonna work out.
Draw our 7th card. I'm gonna play and crack this Scalding. I'm gonna go get a Volcanic Island, and I'm gonna cast a fish. That's all I'm doing. Bye.
I'm gonna draw a card and not be happy about that fish. Volcanic Island fetch. There's the Volcanic Island. And let's start feeding the fish. Here is a Sol Ring. You can draw a card. And we follow that up with a Fellower Stone. But then we're gonna relax. You can have a card draw here. I'm not gonna continue. I'm gonna pass the turn.
Go to my turn. Land for turn will be a Marsh Flats. I'll crack it. Finding an Underground Sea and passing the turn.
An island, tap the island to play a Remora. Then I'm gonna pass.
With a double fish in play, I think we just slow things down. I was not gonna pay for this fish, but with another fish, I think I will pay for my fish. And I'm gonna draw. Let's play a Forbidden Orchard. I'm gonna tap 1, I'm gonna give Pontus a 1/1, and I'm gonna cast a Rite of Flame. And then I'm gonna use that for a Mons copy. You can draw again.
I'm gonna go to my turn and draw a card. So we're sitting with a gamble in hand that can become a Selvala. And we can do the thing we came here to do! Selvala Dargo! But there are 2 fishes in play, and I will be giving away 2 cards with a Mana Vault and gamble. I am kinda keen on doing it though. However, we can drag this out a little bit longer and just cast Thrasios instead and not feed in the fishes. So I'm gonna lean back and just go Thrasios and pass instead. Using Volcanic Island and Fellower Stone to get Commander Thrasios in play. Following up that up with an Ancient Tomb land drop and passing the turn.
In your end step, Mons, I would like to cast this Demonic Consultation. Not paying for Mystic Remora. I said in the mulligan that I was going to consult for a Sol Ring, but as I didn't draw a second land, I'm just going to consult for a Ancient Tomb. Exile top 6, Northern Council, Finale, Neoform, Otavara, Pier, Fellower Stone. Okay, I don't insta-die. Sol Ring, no. No, not Willis. No, not Daddy Dosen. No, not Fish. We're through more than half of the deck. No, not Covenant Jewel. See the traitors. Okay, that's Dargo gone. I'm not sure how I win anymore, but we're gonna get there. Necro. Yeah, no, I found Ancient Tomb. I will go to my turn, draw my last card in my library. I will play Ancient Tomb, and I will cast this Rhetoric Study. No, I will not cast this Rhetoric Study. I will just pass because I have no library left.
Pontus, don't worry. You can cast the Rhetoric Study because it's a May effect. You don't have to.
I'm not gonna feed my opponent's cards.
I'm gonna untap. So it's my turn, and I have this Remora trigger. This is no control deck, so I can't pay for Remora. I need to get somewhere. I will draw a card. Land. Sapphire Medallion. I'm gonna go to discard and get rid of a land.
Seeing as I only have 2 opponents, I'm gonna let this fish go. I'm gonna draw for turn. I'm going to play this Ancient Tomb, then I'm going to pay 3 mana, losing 2 life, and I'm going to cast Malcolm. Then I'm just gonna move to discard. So I'm gonna discard this step through.
In the end step, we're gonna lose 2 life and activate Thrasios. Looking at the top, it's a... Nah, we can do better than that. We should dig bottom and reveal a Mental Misstep. Goes to hand and we untap and draw a card. We are now going to cast Gamble. I'm gonna find this card and then we're gonna discard a card at random. We discarded a Chain of Vapor. Land drop is gonna be a Poseiju. I'm gonna tap Sol Ring for a Mana Vault. And then I'm gonna use the remaining floating mana from Sol Ring to cast the Selvala. Then I'm gonna go to combat and smack with Thrasios at Emil.
Wow. Yeah, no blocks.
And then I'm gonna pass the turn. Was nice knowing you, Pontus.
I will go to my turn. I will untap. I will upkeep. I will have an upkeep. I will tap a blue and move to my draw step and die. Bye-bye.
Okay, I will draw a card, play a land, but I think I want to play my commander, if that's okay.
Here's the Stern Scolding. Counter target creature spell with power or toughness 2 or less.
Well, I guess it's countered. Then pass the turn.
So I'm gonna play Seagate Reborn, losing 3 life to cast Kediss. And this deck just got a lot worse with only 2 opponents. Then I'm gonna move to combat. I'm just gonna swing at you with Malcolm.
I take 2.
And then Emil takes 2 as well. And I'm gonna make 2 treasure tokens. I'm gonna cast a Mana Vault. Pass the turn.
In your end step, I'm gonna take another 2 to activate Thrasios. Look at the top. We are going to bottom this to the bottom because we don't need that, and reveal a command tower that comes into play tapped. Then we're gonna untap everything but Mana Vault and take a damage. Land drop is gonna be Olawara, Soaring City. I'm gonna announce and cast Dargo using Command Tower Ancient Tomb, Fellower Stone, sacrificing Fellower Stone. And we're gonna tap Soldering, keeping the Command Tower untapped, only sacrificing Fellower Stone.
I'm going to cast Rapid Hybridization on your Selvala.
I am going to pay 2 life and mental misstep that thing.
I am going to lose a treasure for red and cast a Pyroblast, targeting your mental misstep.
I'm gonna tap a blue here and cast a Dispel on that thing.
I'm going to respond with a Flare of Denial, sacrificing my Malcolm, targeting the Dispel.
I have no more interaction versus this. Ultimately, Selvala will be killed and I will get a free lizard.
Correct. Didn't want to use everything.
Then Dargo resolves and have a 7/5, but no Selvala. I wanted to make a lot of mana.
And draw a card. I was more scared of the card draw than the mana.
I am actually going to pass the turn here.
I get to untap yet again. I'll draw. Play this. A Forensic Gadgeteer. It's a 2/3 that says whenever you cast an artifact spell, investigate. Then I will play a Mopo. Trigger Forensic Gadgeteer. With that, I'm gonna pass the turn.
Draw a card. Let's have a look at those 6 cards. I'll pay 2 life to get probe. I can at least see 3 of them. Second from the left, I have an idea what that is, and I know what the right one is, and the second from the right, I know that as well. Second from the left, I just don't remember what it does. Can you send me the name of that card? That's the right side. Right? Second from the left. I just need to know the name. I don't remember. Yeah, sure. Good with me. And then I'm going to draw a card. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 mana. I'm going to cast Divergent Transformations. And I'm going to target my Kediss and your Clue guy.
Goodbye, Forensic Gadgeteer. Where does it go? It's exiled.
Exiled. It's gone forever. And then you reveal. I'm gonna get a Niv Mizzet because it's the only creature in my deck. So you could go ahead and reveal.
It's a Moon Vessel.
You're welcome. I'm gonna start my deck tech here. They actually get shuffled. I can just search, just to prove that it's in my deck and not in my hand. Just go back, shuffle, shuffle. I'm at least going to just pass the turn with a Niv in play. That's always.
I'm gonna go to my turn. I have 3 mana, so I can't activate Thrasios in the end step. I'm gonna put a City of Brass into play. And we're gonna try. I'm gonna cast a Birthing Pod, losing 2 life.
I have this Mana Drain, and I'm going to trigger my Niv Mizzet on the cast of Mana Drain.
I have a response to your Niv Mizzet trigger. I'm gonna try at the very least. Not tapping that one. These 2. Thrasios activation on the stack. Looking at the top. That is a really good card, but it does not stop Mana Drain. So this is a really good card. I really want to keep this. I don't have a way to actually utilize it at the very moment. I have a feeling it's going to be possible to utilize it soon. Actually, I'm gonna keep this. So we are revealing an enchantment that is named Kozilek's Unsealing. Whenever I cast Dargo, I will draw 3 cards, basically. That's what this 3 mana enchantment does. I don't have the mana to cast it, but you are mana draining my Birthing Pod. And you get the Niv Mizzet card draw.
I'm just gonna ping Mons for 1. Actually, how big is that Myrrh thing? Okay, it can die. You got it.
Then my Birthing Pod is mana drained. Snusky, I'm smacking you with a 7/5 Dargo. It's actually pretty good at smacking people.
I mean, I have a 5/5. Are you sure you want to do that? Okay, sure, I'm gonna take 7.
I'm gonna pass post-combat.
Well, on your end step, I'm gonna pay 1 and 2 and cast a Valley Floodcaller. Then I will untap. I'm looking at this card here in my hand that's completely obliterated by Snuske. But I can retaliate. I can retaliate. Big time. Here is a 1 mana Imposter Mech. This is the best token I could find. It's not the right one. Pass the turn.
Untap, draw. Ping Emil for 1. And I'm going to take 1 from the Mana Vault as well. Play this Training Center. I'm going to tap this Seagate Reborn and this Ancient Tomb, losing another 2 life, and cast this Rhetoric Study.
I'll pay 1, 2, and 3 mana for a Basalt Monolith. And for the viewers, this would have gone infinite with Forensic Gadgeteer.
Yeah, I'm good on Basalt. Study back on the stack, and I will probably just pass turn, yeah.
I'm losing a life to Mana Vault and drawing a card. Yeah, that would not have helped during the counter war on Mana Drain. But what will help is Dargo Smash at the same person again. Player removal is the best kind of removal. Snuske, I'm coming again.
Guess I'll take 7 with my 1 card.
I don't have much more else to do, so pass turn.
I'm gonna untap. I'm gonna draw a card. Pretty good position right now. This Mana Vault is quite good right here because of Meridian Besieged. I'm really sad to see Forensic Gadgeteer go, but this one will do because of Vedalken Archmage, and Defense Grid should be hard to counter for Mr. Snuske. I hope I can crank out a commander here, tap Nyxos Shrine to Nyx for a lot of mana, and just try to go for the win here, storming out. I'm going to tap my Basalt Monolith for 3, float another 3, hardcast my commander. I will let you draw.
A 2/2. We'll ping that for 1.
Then I will enter a construct. The wizard, the Otter Wizard, the Valley Floodcaller, grows whenever I cast a non-creature spell. So as long as I do that, I can just ignore whatever Snuske does with his pinging. 1 and 2 mana, cast a Meridian Besieged, trigger Floodcaller. Oh, I guess it dies now. Pay for the study. Then Valley Floodcaller triggers.
I will respond. And I'm going to cast a Cyclonic Rift targeting your, I think, Urza? Yeah, Urza.
I'm going to tap my land here to cast a Mana Vault in response. You can draw.
My Niv Mizzet trigger to target the Valley Floodcaller.
The Floodcaller is gonna go bye-bye. Well, it's gonna die.
Mana Vault is on the stack. I pass on. And then there's my Niv Mizzet trigger from my Psych Rift.
You want to draw a card from your Cyclonic Rift?
Damage trigger. Let's just ping, I guess, Thrasios for 1.
Okay, I'm gonna draw a card. Deal 1 damage. Snuske's face.
Then Psych Rift is on the stack targeting your Urza.
And in response, I'm gonna tap my Mana Vault for 3. Convert 2 of them into Nyxos mana. Then I'm gonna have to let Urza be bounced. Very sadly. Meridian Besieged is in play. Every time I cast an artifact spell, I make a 1/1 mirror that you can ping. I pay 4 mana, so I'm gonna have 1 blue left and cast this spell called Urza. I'm gonna let you draw.
And I will ping Thrasios.
I have 2 constructs, and I'm just gonna cast this little defense grid. Trigger Meridian Besieged. I'm gonna let you draw.
Snuske, can you target Urza?
Sure. I will target Urza with that damage.
I'm gonna respond to the defense grid by a lightning bolt Urza for 3 damage, paying for Rhetoric Study.
Mine if Mizzet triggers first. Yeah, just to be safe. I drew a card. We're gonna ping Urza.
I also have a Niv Mizzet, so I'm gonna draw 1 damage to I'll probably just target Thrasios then, I guess.
I have a response to this. I'm going to activate Thrasios losing 2 life. Looking at the top, that does not help me, and it does not does not do what I need. So move that to the bottom, and we reveal a Into the Floodmaw. And then I have no further responses. Thrasios is dead.
I'm going to let Urza die to the lightning bolt because of Into the Floodmaw. It's just impossible to defend. So yeah, it's gonna cost 7 mana next time.
I am then going to cast Into the Floodmaw on Snuskes Niv Mizzet, paying for a Rhetoric Study. Both of you or Niv Mizzets can draw a card each, still in response to the defense grid.
I'm going to tap for 1, gift a tapped fish with my Into the Floodmaw. And I think you can have a fish Mons, and then I'm going to target the fake Niv Mizzet. Trigger my Niv Mizzet, trigger your Niv Mizzet. My Niv Mizzet triggers first.
I think no. On your Niv Mizzet thing, I want to respond.
Sure.
So I'm gonna cast a mental misstep for 2 life, targeting your gift.
Are you paying? Are you paying for Rhetorik Study?
Yes.
My Niv Mizzet trigger will resolve. I will draw a card and ping, I guess, Mons for 1. Actually, I'll ping the fish. Then your Niv Mizzet triggers.
Yeah, I'll deal damage to Snuske.
Yeah, mine triggers first. I will draw, and I will target Emil's face, I guess.
Laughable. I'll draw and deal damage to you.
Sure, and then we have the original Into the Floodmaw targeting my Niv Mizzet. I have nothing I can do against that, so it will go to my hand.
And now I want to draw a card from...
From whatever triggered it.
Yeah, and I'll deal damage to you.
And then we're back to defense grid.
No, we're back on the Myrrh trigger. I want to make a Myrrh.
Sure. Still passing on defense grid.
Well, I don't have anything anymore, so I'm gonna pass the turn.
Untap, upkeep, draw a card. I will lose a life. I'm gonna play a command tower. Cast a Chrome Mox.
Snuske, if you're not tapping out and you do...
I will be.
Okay. Like, if you're putting, like, I win on my next turn, I might just attack you to get rid of, I don't know, your Niv Mizzet here. Trade Dargo with Niv Mizzet. If you don't put Niv Mizzet in play and, I don't know, do a lot of stuff, I will attack Emil instead.
Why do you have to say that?
To make you not, like, make me kill you. Because I think I need the amount of potential counterspells, whatever cards you drew into to deal with Emil.
Yeah, I was figuring I needed Niv Mizzet in play. The issue is the defense grid is the problem.
I agree.
That I can't seem to get around. Because I think if I do, I will just die. If I don't play Niv Mizzet, I die anyway. Because I still die to the Niv Mizzet. You will be able to crew that. So that's not really a viable option there, Mons.
I don't think he's going to crew it. He's gonna try to storm off and win. I know Emil. He's not an attacker, he's a stormer.
Yeah, but he's gonna probably kill me first.
Potentially, yeah. But if you can bounce, like, his Niv Mizzet...
This is an annoying turn. Yeah, sure. The Chrome Mox will put a Steel Enchant. And I guess we... 1, 2, 3. This is a spell I'm casting to ward off an attack from Dargo. Agreed, Mons?
Potentially, depending on what the cast is.
It's a sink into stupor, targeting the Niv Mizzet.
Yeah, if you bounce, if you use that to bounce his Niv Mizzet or Imposter Mech to his hand, I'm smacking him instead.
That is 100% what I'm targeting.
I'm gonna allow it.
And I'm still dead on Emil's turn.
Oh yeah, I'll deal damage to Snuske.
I feel like I'm still just dead, Mons. Like, there's no way I'm surviving this turn cycle.
Can't you recast, like, Kediss as a blocker in that case?
Yeah, he has 2 constructs. What is that gonna help?
One of them? I mean, I still think that he's gonna try to win his game, honestly. I mean, Emil is gonna use his constructs for mana. That's what he does.
I like that you mentioned the constructs at last. Monsieur, like, Emil only does comboing and storming. And I
You
have,
do.
like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, this is 16 power.
Maybe he attacks you instead, Mons. Who knows?
See? Be positive, Snuske. All this negative depression isn't suited for you. It doesn't suit you.
I guess we just spend 4. You can have a 1/1 Mons, and I'll cast Kediss. And then I'm just gonna pass.
I'm gonna untap and draw a card. Combat. I smack you, Emil, with my 7/5 Dargo Trample.
Okay, enjoy it.
That felt nice. Voltron Dargo, here we go. That was totally how this deck was intended to be played. I have a feeling we might need blockers, so we're gonna cast our Fateful Thrasios. And we have an activation here at the ready. Pass turn.
I'm gonna untap Construct number 1, Construct number 2, and I'll take a damage from the Mana Vault. And that is Urza's Saga, so I feel like I have to play it.
Snuske, you can draw a card when I casted the Thrasios, by the way. I do not pay for Rhetorik Study.
I'm going to go to combat, and here's 8 times 2 on Snuske.
Sure, I die.
That's my revenge. Then I'm gonna pay 1 colorless. 1 mana for an Aether Spellbomb. Trigger! I want to make a mirror. Pass.
In the end step, we're going to activate Thrasios to scry 1. We are going to move that to the bottom and reveal a Misty Rainforest that comes to play tapped. We're going to untap and draw a card, lose a life to Mana Vault. Combat, I'm sending Dargo at you, Emil.
So I'm gonna just take it, like a hero.
I thought you were gonna spellbomb that thing. cracking Mr. Rainforest. Finding a tropical island. I'm gonna cast a Sink into Stupor, 3 mana, to bounce one of your pesky, scary constructs out of this game.
That resolves.
I am going to cast this thing. It's an enchantment that reads, whenever I cast Dargo, I get to draw 3 cards. From here, I'm going to pass the turn.
In your end step, I'm gonna tap 3 mana to untap my Basalt Monolith. Have upkeep triggers. I will lose a life, then I will draw a card. Put a counter on Urza Saga. Gemstone Caverns. I'm gonna cast my commander. Here is Urza for the 3rd time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 mana for Urza. Urza enters and makes yet another construct. This one has Summoning Sickness. I guess I will put it here. Intruder Alarm for 3 mana. Tapping these 2 Mer and the construct. An Ornithopter of Paradise for 2 mana. That triggers my Mirrodin Besieged, which gives me a Mer, and then that triggers my Intruder Alarm, which untaps my creatures. I'm gonna tap them immediately again and make 4 blue mana. Then the Thopter of Paradise enters, and I will make 5 mana the same way. So I'm gonna cast Vedalken Archmage. That gives me 5 mana, because I have 5 artifact creatures, so I'm up to 10 mana. I'm gonna pay 2 mana, cast the Reality Chip. That draws me a card, it gives me, so that draws me a card, and it gives me mana. I'm gonna equip the Reality Chip to my Summoning Sick construct. I'm gonna look at the top of my deck, that's a Corridor Monitor. I'm gonna cast the Corridor Monitor, which draws me a card, that's a Skull Clamp. I'm gonna cast a Stride Hanger Automaton. It's basically Mirrodin Besieged times 2. So that's an artifact, so I draw a card. Then I'm gonna look at the top of my deck. So I'm gonna cast Skull Clamp. That gives me another Mer. I think I should have gotten 1 from here and here. So I am at 6 already. I'm gonna then clamp all these 6 Mers and draw 12 cards. I think the audience by now has understood that I'm gonna just keep storming off with Displacer Kitten, etc. And in the end, I have to kill my Archmage, so I don't draw too many cards. I will find Blasting Station and just blast you with that station by sacking Mer and Thopters.
Honestly, like, if you just draw into a Cycrypt at this moment and untap your construct, can attack. No, you already attacked and killed Snuske. Never mind, but yeah, I see the win. Even if I don't see the win, I still concede, because I'm not defeating that. So that was a pretty long, brutal game. Pontus missed a lot of it. I should point out that I have done the exact same as Pontus. I've casted the Model Consultation. I think I did name Rustic Study, and I died. No, I had said something. Regardless, I died. But I still think that both me and Pontus made the correct play here, even though it looked like it was strange and stupid. But if Rustic Study would have been higher on that end, Pontus would have been sitting in a very good position, I think.
I just had some great draws, and Snuske did really well at disrupting me. And I think he even unknowingly knew how well he disrupted me. Like the Forensic Gadgeteer, killing that was magically, amazingly effective against me.
Congratulations, Emil. Hope you enjoyed the video. Urza got to win in a cool stormy way. We like that. We'll be back as usual next week. Until then, take care, everybody.